So first of all, I would like to apologize for two things. One, I am a little stuffed up right now, so if I sound like I'm dying, it's because I am dying. The second is I'm not wearing pants. You can't see that, but I'm going to apologize for it anyway. So, this is going to be my 2018 year in review. I know a lot of people are doing this, and I'm probably just not being very original and creative, but I figured, hey, why not jump on a trend? Why the fuck not? So I made a little slideshow so that I know what the fuck I'm talking about and I'm not just rambling as I usually do. January. Spencer and Linda went to Brendan Urie's New Year's Eve party, and my bisexual ass cried a lot, and I saved literally every picture I could find of them. Because I was still in fandom at that point, and I was just very bisexual and very emotional. I visited Los Angeles, and I met a cat. What happened was we were in Salt Lake City for New Year's, and our flight went from Salt Lake to LA back to Atlanta. And we were originally going to have just like a 2-hour layover, and then it got expanded to like 5 or 6 hours. So my dad and I were like, fuck it, we're going to go out into Los Angeles. And we explored Los Angeles, and I met a cat. It's great. I got the iconic Dallin Who Asked about my marker 17 that then started our friendship. I drew the Gender is Fake, I Piss Where I Want Pete Wentz image, and then it got reposted on a cringy art Tumblr that was like, that better not be Pete Wentz, and I was like, it fucking is, bitch! And that was essentially all that happened in January. February, I drew the Scene Prep Lara art, which all of this art I'm going to link. You can find it on my Tumblr. My old Tumblr, it's not on my new Tumblr yet. I also drew the Mile Marker 17 Universe Scene Queen art, and I made it into a blingy, which I think was the peak of my artistic endeavors ever. I got into The Sims, and I started making Sim videos, and I made all of the No One Here Assist casts in Sims, which all of this, again, on my Tumblr. Spencer Smith announced that he worked for DCD2, and I was the least surprised person ever because I kind of already knew that was happening, so good to know. I was gay on main for Dallin, not Dallin Weeks, my ex Dallin, for the first time, and I started turning Mile Marker 17 into a published novel, which I'm not done with it yet, but I'm like 2/3 of the way through editing it, so hopefully, my goal for 2019 is to start sending it out to publishers, so we'll see how that goes. So, March, my cat Holstein died, which was unfortunate, and I miss her very much. I have a video of her on my channel to the Screaming Cowboy meme. Again, a peak of my artistic endeavors. I made a lot of Spelunda content, which, other than Brellenser, is the only thing I want to be known for in fandom. Bang the Doldrums was supposed to be in Shrek, and I ignored that information when it came out, because I was like, no. And then I also cried a lot about yeehaw. So March was mostly just me crying because my cat died. In April, I went on Parahoy with Bill and Casper, and I road tripped with Casper and Carice and found a liminal space in South Georgia, and that was really fun, and I kind of really wish I'd vlogged that. I didn't, which is unfortunate because it was one hell of an experience, and I also forgot that it happened in 2018 because it seems like it happened on a different, like, line of existence. But Parahoy was fantastic. I wore my Ryan Ross rose vest one of the nights because it was like a costume night or something, and Haley Williams and Taylor York both noticed me wearing it, and Haley Williams pointed at me and was like, nice, and I just went, thanks, because I'm cool. Also on Parahoy, we, like, in our room we had a TV, and we only watched the Fueled by Ramen music video channel, and there was a song by 303 that became, like, the iconic meme of the trip, and the two lines were, who the fuck are you, who the fuck are you, who the fuck are we, which was just us dissociating and not knowing what the fuck was going on. The other one was, your boyfriend's got a cauliflower dick and I'm an alcoholic, so sue me, and I've used that line so much. It was my header on Tumblr for like 2 months. Also in April, Dallin and I started dating after like 2 months of us both being like, gay? 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 That is a attractive face I just made. In May, I wrote down a fic for their birthday, I finished Keep Your Secrets, and I also saw Infinity War and then got back to the Marvel fandom for about a second, and I also reread Man on the Bridge and Snake Eyes, which are by Boopafer, which I will hopefully also link in the description. We'll see how that goes, if I remember to do that. That was essentially all May. May was a boring month. In June, this is where it gets interesting. I saw yeehaw with Casper and Chris in Nashville, and I did this by lying to both my job and my parents about where I was going to be. I told my job, hey, I'm going on a family vacation starting the day of the IDK concert, so I can't be in work. And I told my parents, oh, they made me work that day, so I'll join you the next day. So instead of going to work or on vacation, I drove up to Knoxville, picked up Casper and Chris, drove to Nashville, drove back to Knoxville, spent the night in Knoxville, and then the next day drove from Knoxville all the way out to South Carolina for my family vacation. And then at the end of the family vacation, I booked it from the beach in South Carolina all the way back to Atlanta because Dallin was flying in and we were going to meet for the first time. And I ended up being late and they thought that I left them at the airport, which was not what would happen. I just couldn't drive fast enough. Which, if you know me, I drive very fast, so that's saying something. So I met Dallin for the first time and we went on little adventures in Atlanta. It was really fun. And I mean, we spent most of the trip just being like awkward and gay around each other because we were like, hello, I've had a crush on you for like 7 years and now we're dating. We went to the mall. We went to a park. We saw Ocean's 8 together. We took photo booth pictures. There were hickeys. Also, it was Spencer and Linda's 2nd anniversary and I cried a little. I also discovered Nick's Rising around this time because I was trying to track down the former Parlay people to show to Dallin because we were talking about like important events in our childhood. And I was like, I discovered Dimmock's time when I was 13 and it's the reason I like David Bowie. Which it is. And that's also when I discovered that Jack and Kelly were no longer together, love was not real, and Nick's Rising was so much better than Parlay, and I'm really glad I found them. In July, I made a bunch of leftist Linda Ignara art and memes. I visited down in Boston, and I got to experience P-Town. We also went to a baseball game, and did a lot of gay shit together, and it was fantastic. Again, wish I had vlogged some of this, because it made for good content, but then I didn't. Oh, also, right before I went, I dyed my hair blonde, and I had a bottle of hair bleach explode all over my bathroom and my leg, and I did get footage of that, and it will show up on this channel at some point. In August, I got into a bunch of trans discourse on Tumblr. I don't remember the details of that, but it was probably me just being like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Get your shit together. I started at Georgia State. Dallin visited me right after I started, and we went to a Braves game together. And then, after that, my ex-friend sent me a bunch of transphobic asks on my Tumblr, and I was only offended that she somehow knew my old DeviantArt. Because, like, so the story of that is, she started sending these asks implying that I wasn't, like, a dude, and I was like, who the fuck are you? Get out of my house! And then she just sent one that was just LexRage, but it was spelled wrong, because my DeviantArt is spelled wrong. Because I'm dumb and can't spell my own fucking name for my own character. And I was like, whom the fuck knows this? This was before I started talking about my DeviantArt. So I found out who she was, or who I thought she was, and then I messaged her on her Tumblr with just LexRage, and she blocked me. And I'm like, you called yourself out, buddy pal. Because I didn't know until you blocked me. But now you do. In September, I visited Dallin twice. The first time we stayed in a hotel, and the second time we went to see Fall Out Boy. Also, during the first time we went on a tour of the Mile Marker 17 Chicago places, we got to see the Mile Marker 17 apartment in real life, and also got to go to the University of Chicago. We went to the coffee shop and bookstore there, where Rochelle works in the novel, and that was really cool. I got a notebook. Then the second time, we went to the Mania experience and we saw Fall Out Boy live, and that was fantastic. It was my second time seeing Fall Out Boy. And we were constantly looking for Spencer, and we did not see him. It was very disappointing. I also saw Assassination Nation, and I loved it. It is a very underrated movie. If you haven't seen it, I think it's out on DVD. It'll probably be out on DVD by the time I post this, so it's out there. I started going to the GSU Alliance meeting, and I made a bunch of friends, all of whom may or may not show up in videos. I don't know. We'll see. Because I didn't vlog at all this semester, so. Okay, so October was my 22nd birthday. Dallin came to visit, and we went to the World of Coke, and also to Pride with Josh and Casper. And then after that, Dallin and I broke up. Yeehaw! Also, that was during October was the first time that I saw a straight preacher at GSU, because I'd seen a lot of them at Tennessee when I went there. So I saw one, I waited until he started yelling about how gay people are bad, and I just went, I'm a fucking faggot, and walked off like, deuces, bitch! Because I don't care anymore. I'm too old to give a shit. Okay, so November, the Halloween party with my GSU friends. I went as a slutty Ryan Ross because that's just who I am, and also I didn't have a better costume. An exciting thing that I haven't really talked about is I started on T. Josh's 20th birthday, we went to see Venom together, and then we went and voted in the midterms. I got back into It's Always Sunny for a hot sec, and I started making a bunch of memes. I had Friendsgiving with my Georgia State friends. I got my aura read, and basically got told by the chick who read my aura that I need to love myself more and throw myself back in creating, which I then proceeded to do, because I got super into Nyx Rising, and I was like, I'm gonna make memes, I'm gonna get back into cosplay, and I'm gonna spend too much money on a con because I want to meet them, because it's been 10 fucking years. I went to Savannah, I got back into Nyx Rising, which I mentioned, and I also got a new laptop, which was cool, because my old laptop sucked balls. And then December, I totaled my car. I got in a car accident. I totaled my car. The very next day I got a rental so I could still do my job. And I got rear-ended. I also got Spotify Premium, which is fantastic because now I can listen to Welcome to Nightville, which I haven't done yet. I'm like 14 episodes in. I started working on my original novel called The Ocher Project, which I've been making memes of on Twitter. I saw Into the Spider-Verse, and I loved it because I have eyes. I got a new tablet that works with my new laptop, which allowed me to start making digital art again because I'd missed it. And I also bought tickets to Katsucon so I could see Nyx Rising and finally meet Jack. Specifically Jack because I've been a fan of this dude for like 10 years, and it's like, it's about time, fuckos. So I bought the tickets. I actually just today bought the hotel room, and it was expensive, and I cried a little because I'm like, oh no, I waited too long and now it's expensive. But I think based on this, 2018 was a really good fucking year. Like, a lot happened. I'm proud of it. Hell yeah.